Hello class. So we finally finished with chapter 17, which is static electricity. Now we move on to a new chapter, which is all about current electricity. Static electricity is electricity that is not moving, electricity that is static, so that the charges do not move. But now we're going to talk about what happens when the charges do move, when the charges flow. So that's why here there's the word current. Okay, so there's the word current. It's almost similar to the word current that you hear when we talk about water, for example, the ocean current or the river current. So charges can also flow just like water. We're going to talk about its behavior and our uses for electricity that is moving. This is a big chapter and it's split into several parts. So the first part here, we're going to talk about the current itself. So in Brunei, for Malays especially, they refer electric current as karan. The karan that you know, and in your house, that is basically the electric current. These are the learning objectives, so let's start. So like I said, in static electricity, you learn that insulators can be charged by friction and conductors can be charged by induction. They do not move. However, if you provide a conducting path, so if you remember the earthing process, the electrons will start to move through the conducting path. When the electrons move, we say that an electric current is produced. So basically, electric current is formed by moving electrons. So current is just the flow of electrons. So it's just electrons moving. So how does electrons like to move? If you remember, electrons are negatively charged, and according to the law of electrostatics, they will be attracted to anything that has positive charge. So electrons like to move from negative to positive. So you can see this if you form this sort of arrangement here. You have a piece of wire connected to a cell. So a cell is just a single battery. And as you know from a cell has the positive terminal and a negative terminal. So if you connect the cell to a wire, the cell will cause the electrons in the wire to move. And the electrons in the wire will move in this particular direction. The electrons move from the negative end to the positively charged end. So you can see this is how they move. This movement of electrons from negative to positive is called the flow of electrons. Now, something that you need to know about current, we consider current to flow in the opposite direction of the flow of electrons. So this is because of historical reasons. So back in the old days, scientists back then thought of current as positive charges, and they thought current moves from positive to negative. But after years of research, scientists found out that actually current is made out of negative charges and it actually flows from negative to positive. But because the scientists are already used to thinking that current is positive, so they think of current in that way. So even though in reality, current is made out of negative charges and it flows from negative to positive, but for the purpose of thinking of electricity and current, they think of current as moving from the positive to the negative end. So they think of current as positive charges because they're used to it already. And this type of current is called conventional current. So conventional meaning these are what everyone agrees on. It's not necessarily true, but because they're already used to this way of thinking, we're just going to keep it and use it for anything that has to do with electricity. So how do you measure current? So how do you know if there is a large current or if there is a small current? So when there's a large current, there's a lot of electricity, we say. And when there's not a lot of current, there's not a lot of electricity. Basically, you just have to figure out how many electric charges are flowing through in a second. So if you have a lot of charges, a lot of the electrons flowing, then you say there is a large current. If not a lot of electrons or the charges are flowing, then we say there is a small current. We can define current as the rate of flow of electric charge or the amount of charges. So how many charges flowing in a second. So if in 1 second there are thousands of charges flowing, then we have a large current. If in 1 second there's only 1 or 2 charges going through or flowing, then there's not a lot of current. From the definition of current, we can deduce the formula to be current is equal to charge, how many charge are there, over time, or how many charges per unit time. So Q is the symbol for charge and T is the symbol for time. Current has the symbol capital I. The unit for current is amperes, or you can also use coulomb per second. Now, this particular unit here comes from the formula itself. Charge has the unit of coulomb, time has the unit of second. So, if you use your unit analysis from the formula, you will look and you can deduce another unit for current, which is coulomb per second. You can use either ampere or coulomb per second. How do we measure current? We measure current by using this device called the ammeter. So usually an ammeter has a symbol A on the device itself. And the ammeter must be connected in series in an electric circuit. So series circuits means that electrons are flowing through one complete path or loop. So don't worry about this for the time being, because we're going to go through this in the next chapter. Let's do an example to show how to use the formula. You have an electric charge of 30 coulomb and it flows past a point in a wire in 2 minutes. What is the current in the wire? So the formula for current is I is equal to Q over T. Charge is 30 coulomb. What about the time? 2 minutes. Now, when you are doing calculations, make sure you convert everything to SI units. So 2 minutes, you convert it to seconds. Right? So 1 minute is 60 seconds. So if you have 2 minutes, that is equal to 120 seconds. Okay, so 30 divided by 120, that is equal to 0.25 amperes. And that's the answer. Another example, the current in a lamp is 0.2 amps. If the lamp is switched on for 2 hours, what is the total electric charge passing through the lamp? So, formula. Now, in this case, we want to find Q, which is the charge. So, you rearrange this formula to make Q the subject of the formula. And the formula becomes this. Q is equal to IT. I, current is 0.2. T, time is 2 hours. But we change the time to seconds. So, how do you change 2 hours to seconds? 1 hour is 60 minutes and 60 minutes is 60 seconds. So it's 2 times 60 times 60 and that is 7,200 seconds. So 0.2 times 7,200 and that will be equal to 1,440 coulomb because we are trying to find charge in this case. The third example, a negatively charged sphere carrying a charge of 0.2 millicoulomb is connected to the earth by a wire. Calculate the average current flowing through the wire if the time taken for the discharge is 0.2 seconds. Draw a diagram showing the direction of convectional current flow and flow of direction. So let's look at the first part of this question, which is we want to find the current. So current is equal to charge over time. Now, charge is 0.4 millicoulomb. So be careful of the unit here. So milli is basically 10 to the power minus 3 coulomb. Put that in. Time is 0.2. The final answer is 0.002 amps. The second part of this question, draw a diagram showing the direction of convectional current flow and the flow of electrons. So let's quickly draw this diagram. So what do we have here? We have a charged sphere and the sphere is connected somehow and this sphere has electrons inside. So how does the electrons flow? The electrons will flow into the earth in this direction. What about the convectional current? The convectional current is just simply the opposite direction of the flow of electrons. Okay, so that's the diagram. To end this lesson, let's summarize what you learned today. You learned that current is a flow of charge and current is measured in amperes. You learned that current has the equation of I is equal to Q over T, but you can also rearrange it in terms of charge, which is charge is equal to I times T. You know that ammeter is the device that we use to measure current, and make sure you know that current is made up of flowing electrons, and in reality current flows from negative to positive, but because of historical reasons we consider current as not as negative charges like electrons, we consider it as positive charges, okay, because it's wrong, but we are still using this kind of thinking today because it's much convenient for us. And this is what we call the convectional current. And the convectional current flows from the positive to negative. And these are the things that we went through this lesson. For part 2, you will learn about circuit symbols and how to draw them when you're making a circuit diagram.